So, as I was saying, that is why I'm translating it into a language that I don't even speak, but I have access to, because I know that my readers need it. They need it. A lot of people with disabilities are scared to talk about their disabilities. I have a good girlfriend who said to me, I asked her to do something today, and I asked her to come on a project with me, and she said flat out, no, I don't want to talk about my disability, which, oh, by the way, if you guys know of anyone that wants to talk about their hidden disabilities for Hope for Causes for Hope, that's a new nonprofit I'm involved with, please contact me and I'll get you the information. A friend of mine who's actually a New York Times bestselling author has started this foundation. She asked me to be the vice president of the organization. Obviously, she knows I have a disability, and obviously knows she has obviously she knows that I am really passionate about what I do, and I said yes, I accept the position. So this is the first thing she's asked me to reach out to you guys to help us build a community around Causes for Hope, and the foundation is promoting hidden disabilities, which I think is a wonderful thing. So that's another side note too, and that's why I'm reaching out to the community further than my own community to make this a New York Times bestselling book, not only in the English version but in the Spanish version, because I know, Mel, you had trouble with ESL when you got here because you were having all these American textbooks without ESL help, weren't you?
Yeah, I grew up in a bilingual home. My dad spoke to me in English because he was in the military, right? He was in the U.S. Air Force. And my mom spoke to me in Tagalog, which is the dialect by which I come from in the Philippines. And at times it was hard, but I was able to adjust and figure it out. It did help that I went to an American school on base. But still, it's a difference between speaking very proper English, hi, how are you today, to how kids speak now. You have to help them catch up and all that stuff. So yeah, absolutely. It's not easy, but kids are pretty resilient, and their ability to gain knowledge is pretty fast, and I turned out okay, So yeah. Some kids are just not that fortunate. They still have the accents, and it doesn't matter what culture you're in. But when you live in a multilingual home, it can be challenging. And I read somewhere where going from east to west is easier than going from west to east. For some reason, the native tongue can adapt a lot easier. It would be like someone from Texas moving to Barcelona and trying to speak Spanish or Japanese, right? I mean, if you have a southern accent, it's trying to say, como estás or domo arigato is far from como está and domo arigato, right? So those are two totally different things. But if you switch it around and you take a Spaniard and a Japanese person, bring them to the West, it seems a little bit smoother, So I don't know, just interesting linguistic dynamics, So.
Now, Mel, I have a question for you, and
fire away.
You another question. Do you think my book not only should be translated into Spanish, but in Filipino too? Because a lot of these third world countries like the Bahamas have kids with physical disabilities, and my family still lives in the Bahamas. Do you know that there are Bahamian with Disabilities Act, which is AKA the Americans with Disabilities Act? Their Bahamians with Disabilities Act is still sitting in the Queen Majesty's court to this day. They have still got it in draft form, and they have still got it every which way. They just haven't got it out in full-fledged format. And my family is still to this day trying to pull that out of the court system because the Bahamas doesn't want to listen to the U.S. and they don't want anything to do with the disabled population. And now I'm asking you out of the goodness of my heart, do you think that my book should be translated into Filipino or Peruvian, because I have access to that too now. So I have access to a beautiful Peruvian speaker. I don't know if she'll do it for me, but she certainly knows community members that would. And so I think that a lot of these third world countries that don't have the medical resources that the U.S. has need to learn about cerebral palsy so they can actually be smart when they go to the doctors.
If there is one person with cerebral palsy in any nation, there's got to be at least 10 of them, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's in Tagalog or Peruvian or Turkish or whatever. It should be a global book. Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It should absolutely be a global book.
So that's
for sure. For sure.
That's what I'm doing with this book, making it a global book. So you guys need to now help me. I have the Peruvian covered. I have the Spanish covered. I have the English covered, obviously. I don't have all the other languages covered, but I want to make the Mosaic of CP a global book just because a lot of these parents don't know what's going on.
Right. And if you can, express your shared experience in your life, especially with what you've gone through, it's been such a colorful journey for you. Oh my God, you're going to really open up the eyes of a lot of people, both, in the disabled and non-disabled community. And you're going to give inspiration and hope to those people who have CP or know somebody who has CP, because I would imagine for lack of a better term, it's got to be a lonely world, right? But if there's someone out there that says, hey, no, I'm here, and this is what I've done, and this is what I've gone through, and you're no ordinary person, there are a lot of people on this earth who haven't achieved what you've achieved who are not disabled. So for you to do what you're doing and still evolving and still making decisions to refine yourself, taking on a new, educational endeavor and still competing within yourself and stoking that competitive fire. Why not? Sure. Give hope to everyone, not just people who have CP.
I've got the Filipino covered, I've got the Peruvian covered, I've got the Spanish covered, but if you guys need any other languages, text me or email me or call me, and we'll figure it out, because I know you guys listen to this podcast, and I know this will come back to me, but I'm going to try, as I said, and it will be out, let's see, tomorrow's Friday, it will be out. Look for it on CreateSpace.com. space. Don't look for it on Amazon because it takes 4 to 6 weeks. Look for it on Create Space, or type in the Mosaic of CP, it will pop up. Look for a link on LinkedIn. Look for a link on Facebook. By, let's say, Wednesday of the next week, the earliest Tuesday, and so it's because all pretty much have everything together tomorrow. Literally, I'll have everything together. If not tomorrow, I'll have everything together on Monday, so I can sit here and publish it Monday afternoon. And so that will be my project Monday afternoon. Not to say that I don't enjoy the book publishing project. It's just a little bit tedious. Now I went back and forth with, and this will be my closing statement before Mel says his piece to finally close out the show. And now I went back and forth because I had to buy a textbook, or potentially buy a textbook, and that textbook was $9.99. And I went back and forth. Should I be charging $13 for an ebook? And people got mad at me. People go, I wouldn't pay that price. 1, because they're disabled. 2, because they're cheapskates. And so people got mad at me. So what I decided to do is make the soft cover book $7, and then make the ebook on Kindle 99 cents, and then I would just make it 99 cents on Apple to Kobo, Nook, but Nook is born to know, by the way. Kindle's the most popular because everyone has a Kindle, and you don't even have to have a Kindle, you guys. You can get it so the Kindle shows up on your iPad, the Kindle shows up on your iPhone, the Kindle shows up on PC or Mac. So you don't even have to have a Kindle Alexa. And with Kindle Alexa, and I'm sorry that I made Alexa go off, but that's all as a podcast in itself, not to use Alexa. But with Alexa, you can have the Mosaic of CP read to you if you have WhisperSync turned on. So that's how I would do it if you have a certain device in your house. And I didn't want to use a word again because people would get mad at me now that I use the word twice, and so she's gone off twice, and that's all another podcast in itself. Don't use the word if you don't want to go off. But I learned that the hard way. So sorry, you guys, but that's the way I'm doing it, and so I hope you guys support me again in this little journey, and then all the rest of my teen novels will be coming out slowly but surely. I promised myself it would take me 10 years to finish this one project, but life got in the way and the books were poorly done to begin with. Yeah. But with the Mosaic of CP, I've learned my lesson to use a professional graphic designer, and yeah, don't use anyone that isn't a graphic designer if you can help it. Or you can design the cover via the Kindle and Create Space app. You can launch Cover Creator, which Cover Creator squishes the subtitles, so we're not doing that again. So that's how I'm doing it, and I hope you guys join me in this journey of making this book not only bilingual, but a New York Times best-selling book. And if I don't hit the New York Times bestselling list this year, I won't be disappointed. But hopefully, by the time I'm in my 40s, I will be able to say I'm a New York Times bestselling author. Yes. And I know Mel is going to share it. I haven't got any other proof. And so, you guys will hear a special episode on Monday because I am interviewing someone for, let's just say, a big birthday. And I'm not going to tell this person what I'm asking him. So it's kind of like what he did to me on my birthday, just the reversal. So you guys will hear that one on Monday, and of course he'll be sharing that one out. So I hope. So Mel, how would you like to close this episode out?
Well, you've got a great big project and a great big book coming out, so let's all rally behind Lynn and let's help her get this off the ground. You've got a great price point. Everything's all set there. It's going to add a lot of value to the families and the cultures that have CP within their homes, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. Absolutely.
Well, I certainly hope so, and I certainly hope that we do hit the New York Times bestseller list. And the day we do, I will be sharing pictures and probably swamped, but that's okay. And then if they give me a traditional publishing deal, I will not take it because traditional publishing doesn't have the creative rights that self-publishing does. I've talked to self-published authors that actually have hit the New York Times bestseller list, and they say that they feel better being independently published than they would with a traditional publishing deal. So if the Penguin Random House comes knocking on my door via email after I hit the New York Times bestseller list, which, yes, I will, there's no questions about that, I will turn down the Nice and Fast and turn and stick with indie. All this will do is expand my work and just keep marching to a different drum. And if I don't hit number one like I did last time when I Win was launched, that's fine. But as I want to hit number one, and then I want to hit the New York Times bestseller list. So basically, in the memoir category, you guys have to buy it on the day it's released and leave a review, and that's it. And the reviews all help Amazon's algorithms say this is a really good book. It should be number one or number two, and I'm happy with the number two spot. And then I would like to be on the New York Times bestseller list just so I can put another feather in my work cap, and that would just be wonderful. So I want to, I'll have the book probably ready to go by early Wednesday or by the latest Friday if I can get my ducks together. The last final piece I'm waiting is the cover, which is stunning. Wait till you guys see it. And for those of you who don't know what CP stands for, oh my God, you're going to have to read I Come a Win before you even pick up the Mosaic of CP. Someone asked me that today. What is CP? And I'm like, I almost said to the person via email, I'm like, you must be living on the rock. So I will explain what this person is doing in my life maybe next week, probably. After the birthday episode, I will explain what this person is doing in my life. And so I will my audience knows what CP is, and if they don't all happily explain what CP is, but you guys pretty much know what CP is. And Mel's laughing at the comment, what is CP? Yeah. Yeah. You've been around me long enough. You know what CP is. And so I hope you guys enjoy the book and go read I Come a Win. If you haven't heard my story, which, by the way, you have, and that's available on Audible, and it's available on Amazon, and it's available on Create Space, and it's available on where all books are sold. It's available on Nook. It's available on iBooks. It's available on everywhere. So go check out a book I Win and then figure out what CP is. But if you listen to this podcast long enough, you know what CP is. And so I may bring my editor on who worked on this book. Right now, she's dealing with personal disability stuff, so let's just put it that way. But when she gets done with dealing with her personal disability stuff, I will ask her if she can come on and explain why she does what she does and explain how she works on my book, because I know you guys would love to hear the inside story. You guys love the inside story for some weird reason. Not to say that you don't love my interviews, but you tend to love the Mel episodes more than you love my interviews. Not to say that you don't love my interviews, you guys, but you tend to love my story. I don't know what I'm doing, but Mel, you may want to tell my audience about the Facebook post that I shared, I think a couple days ago, and what you are planning to do with that, because I think that is amazing, and that's how we're going to end this phone call.
Oh, you mean my birthday live webinar episode? That one?
I mean the video, and then I want you to share what I shared on Facebook after you talked about your Wagner race. And
yes. You know, I got to tell you, I was just really surprised, and it made me feel so awesome when I saw your picture you posted of you crossing the finish line at the Kona Ironman. I was just smiling from ear to ear, and I thought to myself, that is my co-host. Look at her go, right? You know, and that's one of the things I love about you, that you competed.
By the way,
it was pretty awesome. I got to tell you.
That was not taken at the Kona Ironman. That was taken at a smaller triathlon. In St. Petersburg, Florida, the St. Anthony Triathlon for St. Anthony's Hospital. Yeah. They raised money and, And of course, that was taken by a professional photographer that I know that's still on the triathlete circuit. So, of course, all my triathlete buddies will be buying this book, also I hope. And so, but that's a little bit of my abilities there as a triathlete, and
Well, you know, it's, I'd love to see you compete again. I don't know if that's a goal that you have again in the future, but it'd be pretty awesome for your fans to see that. As a matter of fact, I might even fly to that event just to cheer you on and be your support team. You never know. So, but this has been a wonderful episode. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and we're all behind you win, and we're ready to win for you.